Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly DiPersia. I'm the artistic director of All the Line Studio and Incubator. And we have G. Stephen Pass here, who is the writer of Dead Camels, which is our Next Step Screenplay Series for April. It's going to be at Bynx, Orlando, April 28th at 7 p.m. So if you're free, please come on out. We also have a live stream that's available as well that you can check out to view the show from home. But we hope you'll come out in person to get the energy live. So Steve, if you can just let us know, just a little bit about yourself, your writing background, life
Oh,
history. Yeah.
okay. Grew up in New York, moved to Arizona, lived there about 19 years, then Savannah, Georgia, now Winter Park, which will probably be our last resting place before our last resting place. And married, have had 10 dogs. We're on our 10th now.
Wow.
And yeah, a lot of dogs. We like dogs. And I started writing in Arizona. And Arizona is kind of an interesting city. It's at the time, this was probably 25 years ago, maybe a little bit more. It was kind of trying to be a progressive city, but there was a lot of stuff going on. There was an indefinite underbelly to Arizona, and definitely a Wild West type of thing. So the first thing I wrote was actually a play. I decided I wanted to write a play, and it had to do with three people modeled on some people that I knew in Tucson, and it did fairly well. It came in second in the Arizona Playwright Awards, and that encouraged me to write more. And since that time, I've written 3 novels, 4 short stories, and 2 screenplays, of which Dead Camels is one of the more recent ones.
Cool. And tell us about Dead Camels. What's kind of the basic premise, story? Don't give
Sure.
away too many spoilers.
No, I thought of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a story about a man named Will Taylor, who's an ex-CIA agent who committed an atrocity during war, and he has a chance to be basically make a redemptive act, uh, and it's kind of an accidental that he stumbles into it all. That's kind of like the tagline, pretty much the basic line. I want to talk about one of the characters who I really like, who's the other lead, and that's the character named Sarah. Because I don't know, I know you write screenplay, correct? Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're the same way, but I sometimes I identify or really like a certain character a lot. And Sarah is a character I like a lot. And what's interesting about Sarah is I'll just tell you a little bit about the beginning, and then I'm not going to tell you too much later because it will be a spoiler. But Sarah comes across as your kind of typical stereotype, hopefully from a previous generation, but still maybe in this characteristic of a young woman who's sexy, kind of funny, not that smart, and is in a mess. And you immediately think, oh, this guy's Will is going to take her out of the mess and do that. And what's great about Sarah is she's not that person at all. And I'm not going to say any more, but getting to know Sarah and developing Sarah was really, was a challenge and was a lot of fun with me. So come just to see Sarah.
She definitely is a complex character. It is really, I mean, you've done such great work with your characters. I feel like just reading the screenplay itself, you really have solid ideas and just, characterizations and everything with them. So it's going to be so much fun to bring that to life with our actors. We have a really wonderful cast put together. Now, what was your inspiration for writing? I'm guessing it's not based on a true story or
No, it wasn't.
biographical.
It wasn't. It's funny because what I was doing is sometimes I write stuff and I just put it away because I just don't want to go on with it. So
Mhm.
I had been going through some stuff that I'd written, and I came upon 2 novels, and where I wrote just a few chapters of each one. And one was a chapter that had Will in it and had to do kind of currently with more of Dead Camels than the other. And Sarah also was in another one. And for some reason, I just looked at the two and I thought, God, if I put these two together in both of these 2 chapters, what's going to happen? And so that was pretty much it. And I never wrote a screenplay. And I thought, I want to write a screenplay because these characters are so powerful to me. And a lot of my fiction is character driven. And so it just kind of, once I got them in on the page, basically it evolved over time.
That's so fun. That's so fun having these two characters and you're like, let's put them together and see what happens. That's
Yeah, it worked
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah,
That's
it works
about
out in
it.
a really, really cool way. That's awesome. And you have them set so that you have them independently developed outside of that, and then you're bringing them in to like find the story and all of that. That's and how they knock up against each other and
Right.
that's
Yeah. So
fascinating.
the characters were very strong. So it's just a matter of moving them around.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really cool. How long ago did you write Dead Camels?
Oh,
So
geez. I'd say, where was I? Dead Camels was probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
okay. So not
Yep.
that, we've had writers that, it's been like a dozen years since their script's been dusted off and put
Oh,
out 20 years or so. So it's like, and some people have just written fresh scripts. So we get a wide range. And so what led you to All the Line? How did you find us? How did
ah,
we
it
Yeah.
was kind of an interesting thing because I was at a writer's workshop that I attended, and I was speaking to a co-writer, and her father was actually, she said, was a screenwriter. And she said, "Oh, are you?" And then she said, "Well, are you familiar with All the Line?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm not." And so she said, "Well, you should get to know them, and because I guess he's either involved or I don't know how he's involved, or but was aware of it." And then I ended up at the short attention storytelling hour,
The
right?
writers of Central
Right,
Florida or thereabouts,
right.
yeah.
Thank you. And was talking to someone there, and he said the same thing. And he said, "Oh, by the way, Kimberly is here tonight, and she's an artistic director for them. And maybe you want to talk to her." And so we met and we talked. And you said, "Why don't you submit, um, Dead Camels?" And that's what I did. And here we are.
Fantastic. A
Yeah.
perfect way of networking. Yeah,
It-
we've gotten a lot of scripts from writers of Central Florida or thereabouts. They're kind of like we kind of we have like a nice, I guess, a sister collaboration with them. We've
Mhm.
worked with a lot of their writers, and I've been going to their open mic, the short attention span, for gosh, at least 2.5 years or so. It's been a
Wow.
while. But yeah, we've been doing the Next Step Screenplay Series since September of 2023. So
Mhm.
a little over a year and a half. And it's just kind of really expanded. It just kind of started as I had a screenplay that I was like, let's stage this, let's like see what we can do. And then I had such a rewarding experience. I'm like, let's find more scripts and keep it going. And it's just been really, really fun to develop with different genres, everything from
Mhm.
romantic comedies to World War II dramas to like we just did a pro wrestling comedy, so we really have a wide span, and I'm really excited to add Dead Camels into the mix. This like action thriller, really like dark, gritty type of screenplay. So it's really fun, and it also has some humorous moments as well too.
It does. You
Yeah.
described it well.
What are you most excited about when you think about our next step screening on the 28th?
Okay. So as a screenwriter, I write and you can play it so you hear the words, but it's not the same as seeing someone reading it and performing it. It's a totally different thing. It brings the words to life. And so what I'm interested in seeing when that's done on the 28th is just how much I've succeeded in hopefully making something that is brought to life and something that would actually work on the big screen, that type of thing. It's a validation. And without having that, that's why I'm so happy that you chose my screenplay to do this, because I'm really looking forward to just seeing and listening.
Awesome. Yeah. It really gives writers such a wonderful experience of getting that instant feedback from an audience, from the cast as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes it might be like, oh, well, that line's not working because, they keep saying it's just not fitting. So
Exactly,
you might end up
exactly.
changing it. Or so it really gives you that kind of, it's like a mix between like a workshop and a show, I like to say. And we did feature like just the first 10 pages of your script back in February at our cold reading night, where
Mhm.
we kind of had just a slew of different screenplays, and yours was one of the top picked ones by our audience. So it's gonna be very exciting. People that were like, "Oh, I want to know more." So we're definitely gonna have some excited people that want to know what's happened next after those 10 pages, which are So thrilling, such a really great opening. I mean, you'll have to come and, see the show in order to get those 10 pages and more. But yeah, cool.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us on this. And we hope everyone tuning in will come out and check out the show on April 28th. Bynx Orlando, which is right in downtown. And if you need more information, go to allthelinestudio.com, allthelinestudio.com/dead camels, and that'll give you the direct link of all our show information and our cast and all of that. So thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, I'll see you soon, Steve, with rehearsal
Yes.
on that.
Right. Great.
All right.
Nice talking to you, Kimberly.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much. All right.
Bye.
Bye.